Welcome back. I am Jules. I'm one half of the Nutty Nitty Sisters, here with my sister Judith on YouTube. We like to use our channel here to share our fiber love, whether it's our fiber projects or our fiber adventures, anything fibery related that we get up to. And I am a couple days late. I am continuing to do the Fiber Stash Restash presented by Anne Frost of I Thought I Knew How podcast, but I am a couple days behind. Day 7's prompt I owe you, and day 7's prompt was for your straight needles. So this is going to be very quick and easy. I don't have hardly any straight needles because I very rarely use them anymore. Excuse me. And oh, and this is Calla. This is the co-pilot. She's very much a mama's girl, and as soon as I start recording, she whimpers, whines, and barks, and I have to stop, pick her up, and start over again. So there. Day 8's prompt, however, was all of your books or pretty patterns, that kind of thing. So this table is almost full. It would be full if I hadn't stacked some things, but I also have, so I took these books that I have on the table, actually it's better this way, off of those two empty shelves there. If it's any way possible, I would like to get down to one shelf, because I also sew and quilt and crochet. So some of my crochet books are here too, because I don't have many crochet books any longer. But the other two shelves are full. One with sewing and serger, and the other with quilting. So what I would like to do is be able to get the quilting, which is on the bottom shelf, and get it moved up, so I do not have to get down on the floor to get to my quilting books. I just would rather have the books up higher and accessible. So the goal is to try to do one shelf with my crochet. If I have to have a little bit of spillover, I said crochet, I'm sorry, knitting. One shelf with my knitting. If I have to have a little spillover on the next shelf with some crochet, that's okay. I have a little bit of room with either sewing or quilting that I can just tuck the crochet on the end of that, and that will be fine. But with the knitting, so sorry, I've been clearing my throat all day. Hope I'm not coming down with something. With the knitting, I have binders. I think I have 5 binders here that are printed patterns, and I really would like to eliminate those. I'm a little nervous to just outright chuck them without looking a bit, because there probably are some things that I no longer have access to, as far as them not being online any longer to get to them. But I am not going to dwell on them a great deal. You know, there's always going to be something similar, so unless it's a pattern I've done before that I know I love and would want to do again, I am just going to, you know, look at that and say there's probably something out there, and if there is, then okay, that's gonna go. So I also have a lot of magazines, a lot of softcover books, and a lot of hardcover books. So the first thing I want to do is go through and sort and have hardcover in a category, magazines in a category, softcover in a category, and so I'll just go through this quickly with you right now for day 7's straight needle prompt, because it's very quick and short. It won't take long at all. And then I will revert to our fast mode and go through the books, patterns, that type of thing, get them at least sorted into categories, and come back with an update at that point. So you, Miss Lady, are going to have to go down. All right. So as far as the straight needles go, I am going to see if I have any duplicates, and if I have any duplicates, I don't need duplicates because I very rarely use these. So I have 15, 11, 13, I have 10 and a half, and I keep them in this sand. Bamboo sometimes gets a little bit rough, And I find that putting them in this sand, the tips on these stay so nice and smooth. Might not be the greatest idea if I was shoving them in and out constantly, but where I use them just sparingly, very rarely, I think it's okay, and it does keep them nice and smooth. There is a 9. There's a 7. There's an 8. I think I've gone through this exercise before on these needles, and I have. So these are all different sizes. I may be missing a size here or there, but I am not concerned about that with straight needles. I have 6, 7, 8, 9. I do not have 10. I have 10 and a half. Then I go 11, 13, 15. I'm perfectly fine with that. So I'm just going to plop all my needles right back in the sand and put them back over with the rest of my needles are. And we will call that day 7 done. And that was super simple, easy. The rest of the days definitely will not be so super simple, easy. But yeah, straight needles, done. All in one container. I'm happy. All right. So now I will go ahead and stop here to go to fast mode, get these all sorted in categories, and then I'll come back with an update. Okay, so a quick hop back in here. I have sorted out all of the softcover books, all of the hardcover books, all of the crochet. I still have the paper pattern things here that I want to go through because I think there are going to be some more pamphlet type things within that. But all of these holders are now cleared out because I want to just put things that I have a series of. So like my ply magazines, I have several of those. I want to put those in that kind of thing. Like my John Arbin by hand cereal, some of those things that I have series of. That's what I want to use those for. So I went through the crochet things because I really didn't have much there. And it's pretty much everything is going to be kept because I do have some antique Elizabeth Hiddleston patterns. Cannot get those anymore, so I'm keeping those. I have a couple of leaflets and a couple of books, and that's all I have there. I have a couple of things I have decided I am going to let go, and I also have started a trash pile. So I'm going to grab my donation bucket, get that up here so it's handy, grab my trash can, have that handy. And then I am going to go through and try to get these binders filled and get those on the shelf, and then I'll deal with the books from there. So I will pause again and go into vest mode. I'm back and I'm in a dilemma. The binders are a problem. So the binders, as I was looking through them, I have already sorted these. I have already separated them as far as categories of what these projects are in here. And just flipping through, I can see some that I don't believe I will find online again, and some that I will. This is definitely going to be a longer term project because those are 3 full binders. That is not going to happen in a day. That is going to have to be a work on, just about every day, grab a binder, work my way through as much as I can. This binder is actually just page protectors, so that can just be put in that binder and put back. This binder is actually, I started to pull things out. I was going to throw them, and I went, wait a minute, some of these I know are projects that I did not get on Ravelry. So this would be a really good opportunity to go through this binder, double check my Ravelry projects, and make sure that these are in there as projects before I let the patterns go. So that one is definitely, there's definitely not as many projects there. So that one I am okay with working on and making sure Ravelry is caught up. Then I have some patterns here that I am pretty sure I would not be able to find online again. So I'm going to double check those. So that will kind of go along with my Ravelry checkup project. And I also have a few more here that I know are projects I've completed and need to also see, are they on Ravelry or not. This binder is actually a workbook that Loops is in Oklahoma, and they had a workbook that we went through, and it was really cool, but it's something I wouldn't get my hands on again, so I'm going to hang on to that binder in case I want to revisit it. And these are all like pamphlets or antique vintage patterns that I still want to hang on to. I would love to think one of these days, wouldn't I love to make this? Isn't that beautiful? Oh, all of these fisherman knit projects, they're so beautiful. I would love to make a sweater like that. So these are leaflet type projects, and I need to probably pull one of those back and put leaflets, and possibly these, which these are either reference things, like I have my passport here for Shave 'em to Save 'em. I have a couple of things. I have a Donegal blanket that I got from the Woolly Thistle, and I want to hang on to the information that came with that blanket. My Maine Yarn Cruise passport, and then these are all either shade cards, or actually that's my finished project from my Legacy Fiber Arts Advent. I colored in each day as I opened the day, so now I have a pretty little picture, and I may frame that, put that up on the wall. Yeah, but the rest of these are like reference or shade cards or yarn cards, that kind of thing. So those are references that I want to hang on to. So I think maybe the pamphlets and these references will go together. And a couple of these binders need some attention. I had them overloaded and they busted at the seams, so they need to be fixed. But for now, I want to get everything in where I know they're going to be, make sure that everything fits, and then I can take a binder at a time and repair. So that is that. So if we look, I don't know if I'm going to make the one shelf goal. Really depends on binders. I did have to put the crochet over here on the second shelf. I kind of had a feeling that would spill over. So I may possibly need to let this spill over with the crochet, and you can't really see, wait, no, you can't really see it. The bottom shelf is 2/3 to 3/4 full of quilt books. And I do want to go through both the sewing and the quilting books. Not today, but I do want to do it, definitely do want to do it. And I feel like there will be some weeding out happening in there. So I expect I'll get my sewing and quilting all on one shelf, and that way I will have the bottom shelf free, and I will just have the majority of the knitting on one shelf and some crochet and some knitting on the second shelf. So I can deal with that. I can I can accept that and live with that. So, and actually these are reference, so these can go in with my reference items. Okay, so I think that is what I'm down to. I found some of these patterns that I completed. When I completed them, I put the label for the yarn that I used. So now what I will do is make sure that these projects are on Ravelry, and because I have that information, I can be sure that the project has that information, and then I can let this go. So that will feel good. So I think that is where I am at for day 8. It's definitely not a finish in one day, unfortunately, because of these binders. So I will just work on it, pick away at it. I am okay with that. That's the good thing about this this guidance that she's giving. You know, I get a couple days behind. Well, you know, life happens, and I just do what I can do, and I make it work the way that it works for me. She has some great suggestions, and you know, one of these times I do it, I may go strictly by her guidance and just see how that works. But there were just some things, like the Notions day. I think that might have been day 4. So you can look at the previous days. They're there as well. But that day, I knew I wasn't going to make a Notions bag for each one of my project bags. I've tried that before and it does not work for me. So I just modified that day and did what I know is going to work for me. And I just love that she has the guidance there, but there's no pressure. There's no pressure to get rid of things, to downsize your stash, to do it just the way she says. So that's what I like. It's a great guideline. It's, you know, a well thought out and well put together plan, and you can follow it strict as you want, or you can vary it and change it to what works for you. So I think that is just great. So thank you very much for joining me in my catch up for day 7 and day 8, and look forward to seeing what day 9 is. Whew, the books one. That was a toughie, but as you can see over that way, oh, and you can't even see the cabinet over that way. And there are 2 dressers over there. The yarn is going to kill me. But it's a good exercise. Definitely want to look everything over again. And I have a feeling there is going to be some things that will go, because my tastes change. What I like changes. And something that I loved in that moment and just had to have, I could look at it now and say, I'm not sure what drew me to that. Well, I'm going to let it go, because at some point there will definitely be something else that draws me to that, and it will gladly fill the hole that left. So yes, I will stop my babbling. I will leave it here. Thank you very much. If you are just looking at this video and seeing us for the first time, this is not a normal episode. As I said, this is a special kind of program that I'm following. Judith is also doing it, so be sure to check out hers as well. We have lots of episodes, previous episodes you're welcome to look at. If you like what you see, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Any of the videos you watched that you liked, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. That does definitely help our channel. We'd love to have you subscribe as well. There's nothing involved as far as cost with that. If you would like to click the little bell, you'll be notified whenever we do put up new content. And then you'll be part of our community, which we would absolutely love, because those of you returning, thank you so much. We love having you here in our community. And we love when you like and comment and all those good things as well. We love interacting with you. So on that note, thank you once again, and I hope that you will join me for day 9. Bye.